Hi, good afternoon. Dan Edwards, managing broker of the Eastside real estate team at Keller Williams Eastside. One of my sellers recently asked me what happens if the buyer's appraiser doesn't appraise their home at the contract value. Now, there are several mechanisms that we have in the contract that can help sellers in the event that that happens. First and foremost, sit down with your agent, review carefully the market analysis that was provided. It could be that the market in the last few weeks or months has shifted considerably. Perhaps there were a few pending homes that closed for less than you suspected. Now, the contract provides for a reconsideration of value, new appraisal, or an adjustment of the price, or finally a disagreement and a separation of the contract. So the first thing you can do is review the appraisal with the bank, because the bank is definitely going to have a say on it. Review the appraisal with the bank to see if they'll reconsider the valuation there. Now, that rarely to almost never happens, but you could allow the buyer to switch lenders and therefore initiate a new appraisal, which will take some time and it would be an expense, one that most buyers are not going to want to incur, but you could offer as the seller the ability to do so. Now, option number two is to lower the price to the appraisal price, keeping the contract together and closing the transaction. Now, that may not be the most favorite outcome for the seller. It certainly would be for the buyer, but keep this in mind that few buyers in this current environment want to overpay for a property. There's two more options. The third option is to negotiate some kind of in-between. So the seller makes up the difference, or the buyer makes up the difference, or some kind of combination, some kind of negotiated combination. Keeping in mind that if a buyer is strapped with cash and they're putting 20% down, they cannot come up. They won't be able to come up. Then that deal would fall apart, which is in the contract. The buyer does not have to be compelled to purchase the home at a price that is higher than its appraised value. So when that happens, the buyer would ask the seller to lower the price. The seller doesn't lower the price, the contract's terminated, the earnest money is returned to the buyer. The home goes back on the market. So with a market that is right now in the middle of a correction, a leveling off of appreciation, these issues are happening on a regular basis. Reach out to your real estate professional, ensure you know what your options are heading into it. I hope you found this informative. I'm Dan Edwards with the Eastside Real Estate Team. Thanks for watching.